Maybe we should clip this part at the very beginning and put this at the very beginning. Guys, please don't flame me in the YouTube comments. These are just my opinions. I know I can be wrong about some of this stuff. If you love Overwatch and you enjoy it, continue to play that game. There's a healthy enough community that you can continue to play and enjoy Overwatch. If you love Valorant and you want to play Valorant, go and do that. If you love CSGO and you want to do that, go and do that. Don't let some washed up ex-Riot dev tell you what to do with your life. Enjoy the games you want to enjoy. This is just me sort of discussing them critically from my perspective. I love you all. I want to talk to you guys now that I've played a little bit of Overwatch. I actually haven't seen Dunkey's video on it, so I want to watch Dunkey's video and then give you guys my take on Overwatch 2.
Overwatch 2 is a couple new maps and some heroes. I will be very disappointed. Okay, I've played Overwatch 2, and it reminded me of a Stevie Wonder song. And that song is, "You haven't done nothing!" Blizzard, what the hell is this? What kind of scam are you trying to run on me here? The haters have been calling this game Overwatch 1.5. I gotta say, haters, you guys are stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. This is more like Overwatch 1.3. 1.1, yeah. The beta confronts you with the horrifying truth that roll queue is still in the game. Why? Why and how? How did this moronic system even make it into the first game, let alone make it all the way into Overwatch 2? The queue times here are horrendous. They are giving GTA 5 a run for its money with these long-ass queue times. There is a fast pass thing, but it does absolutely nothing. Blizzard.
What is their fast pass system? Someone said such a bad take. Yeah, we'll pause here and say, okay, so I understand why the role select works. It's the same reason why you have like role select in a game like League. Even in like Valorant, they don't have role select, but the idea is like you get into Valorant and like some people are like, oh, well, we need smokes, we need a blind or something. But like arguably in a game like Valorant, it's a lot easier to like run like a more like whatever the fuck team comp. Cause like, again, most of your power is coming from the guns, not the actual abilities. I'll come back to the point of why I think role select is both good and bad. League doesn't have role select in the same restrictive way Overwatch does though. Yeah, because League is position based, not role based. And this gets into this weird issue that Overwatch has, which we'll talk about at the end of the video, which is I fundamentally think the game modes of Overwatch, the way you express the characters is fundamentally flawed and bad. And this will be the theme of this entire video, which is since Overwatch came out, like the fundamental game modes rather, push the car, control the site, etc., are horrible for what they are trying to create. And long term, they needed to have tested and tried other things for the expression of their characters. We'll come back to that though.
Priority one for this game should be get players into matches. When the game launches, I assume you'll be able to pick between role queue and actually get into a match queue, but it's kind of sad that they still haven't figured out how to solve such a simplistic problem yet. Let's talk gameplay. Overwatch 2 has made big, earth-shifting changes to the Overwatch we all know and love. First off, McCree's name has been changed to Ryan. And there's more. And the nighttime maps are daytime now. That's it. The biggest change is switching from 6v6 to 5v5. There are some upsides to this idea.
This was good,
Instead
yeah.
of having two tanks, each team has one super tank with extra power. Whoever plays tank gets to feel like the leader of the team until your DPS just run in solo and die. Personally, I've put so much time into Overwatch that any change, good or bad, is welcome at this point. But
the change to 6 players was good. Man, the thing, I'll say it again, the thing you really probably wanted here to make the game feel and play, like if you were to go this route, which is keep the same core gameplay, adjust the number of players and adjust the roles, I would have done 1 tank, 1 support, 3 DPS. So many people want to play DPS. Some of their best designed heroes are DPS heroes. They have way more like flexibility there. I don't think what's weird is I like actually think you would have fine. 3 DPS is trash though. Why is 3 DPS trash? Like you have to answer that chat. Why is it trash? Hell no, healers will die right away. Adjust how the healers play then. Buff the supports so that like supports in general are so like you could adjust systems in the game so that healers could work as a single healer. And then the healer has to decide, am I going to be focusing on healing my front line or focusing on healing like my back line? And then maybe one of your people are like, too much DPS. Wow, chat. It's almost like some of the most fun metas in League feature a support, a tank, and 2 to 3 carries. In fact, some of the most fun metas in League are where it's 1 support and 4 carry champions. If they can buff a tank so they can go from 2 to 1, they can buff a support that they can go from 2 to 1. Some of the DPS could heal, right? Blau is why Val flopped at launch. Kami, you think Valorant flopped at launch? You guys can't tell me Valorant flopped. Like, Valorant is still going very strong. I don't think Valorant even flopped at launch. You guys are like, I don't know, like Valorant seems to be doing like pretty good. I don't think I think Overwatch just did a giant, yeah, exactly. Overwatch just did a giant new release and it's not doing well. My issue though, even if they did 3 DPS, 1 support, 1 tank, it doesn't fix the fundamental issue with Overwatch, which we'll get back to. Let's finish the video.
But you have to keep in mind that all of these heroes were designed for a 6v6 game. Suddenly changing it to 5v5 without making fundamental changes feels like one of those player-made custom modes. There are new maps. Bastion and Orisa have been totally reworked.
I disagree with that. I do think the game plays a little bit better with 5 than with 6.
New hero, Sojourn 72. They even added a scoreboard in finally, but you can
Also, imagine 2 flank DPS, 1 main DPS. Who's going to protect the lonely healer? Tank of Overwatch 2 won't work. Why not? Make it work. Adjust how healers play. I don't know. Try it. Test it. The reality is Blizzard, you say these things, but it just feels like Blizzard never tested any of these things and Blizzard never tried to like do anything beyond what they initially thought would work.
Can never escape the feeling that you're still just playing Overwatch 1. Doomfist can't uppercut, McCree can't stun, so his right click does nothing now, Mei can't freeze people. Other than that, it's business as usual. You're probably looking at this gameplay right now and saying, oh no, Dunkey, you put the wrong footage. This is just Overwatch 1 gameplay. But nope, this is Overwatch 2. This is the right game. Most of the heroes have not been touched. Widowmaker still sucks ass, Junkrat is still insane, Moira can still outdamage DPS while out healing the other healer, Symmetra is still zero fun to play, you're still gonna get yelled at for picking Hamston, probably more now since you're the only tank. I know behind the scenes it's a total blunderfuck. On top of COVID, Blizzard as a studio is collapsing, Jeff Watch left, every employee is fired or going to jail. I've been reading about this stuff forever.
Yep.
But now to finally have Overwatch 2 in my hands, it feels like a major defeat. It feels like Blizzard could be the next BioWare. However, we still haven't played the co-op mode, which for me is the main draw of Overwatch 2. For the sake of the fans, I hope that 99% of the development team has been focused on the co-op, because I don't know what they've been doing for more than 2 years with the PvP. None of Overwatch's core issues have been addressed.
My guess is that the co-op and the PvE are going to be where most of the priority was put, because again, it's like it feels like the game, to be fair, the game was out way too long with its current game modes that you couldn't really make that adjustment or switch. I guess you could have, but like they just chose not to. And it's like, it seems like they were like, you know what? It's been out 4 years. We're going to focus on PvE and like more like co-op stuff like that. Because at the end of this video, I want to talk to you guys, or at the end of Dunkey's video, again, I'll talk to you guys about what I think is Overwatch does really well and where I think it like critically failed. Yeah, I agree with Dunkey again here. I think I am hopeful that the co-op mode is actually really fun to play.
5v5 ends up making the game even more steamroll heavy than the original. The game still expects an unrealistic amount of teamwork from random players, and the objectives are still anti-fun garbage.
Yes, dude, the objectives are awful.
Without PvE, this is more of a minor patch to an abandoned game masquerading as a sequel for marketing purposes. Overwatch 2's PvP is as lazy as it gets, but it's still better than Valorant.
It's not better than Valorant, Dunkey. That's where you're wrong. And I'll get shit on in the YouTube comments for this because this will be in the video, and I'll be called a riot shill or whatever, even though I don't work there anymore. Valorant is one of the best games to come out in the last few years, and Valorant will continue to be relevant and continue to be a really good game for years, possibly even decades to come. And do you know why? Riot actually fucking cares about their games, and even though they fuck up all the time. Here's the thing, Riot could fuck up with their games more than any other developer, but at least they fucking try. Like, and this is why I always tell people, I don't say Valorant will beat CS:GO because Valorant is a better game than CS:GO. I say Valorant will beat CS:GO because Riot will actually do shit with Valorant, and Valve doesn't give a fuck about CS:GO. And if you think that Valve actually cares about video game development, I don't know what you've been doing for the last 10 years. And Blizzard is trying less and less. Hold on, what? I got an email. I might be rehired. Hold on. All right. Some more thoughts about Overwatch 2 and like my like take on it. So yeah, I think Dunkey hits a lot of the things that I would say as well. The things that Overwatch does well, I've always said the characters and the way you play the characters is some of the best in any video game. Playing the characters, like just ignore the game mode, ignore stuff. Playing McCree, playing Winston, even playing like Reinhardt, playing Tracer, like playing these characters feels amazing. It's like any number of people can play this game. People who are coming from MMOs, people who are coming from like hit scan FPS, like so many of these characters play so well. Oh, not McCree. Fuck, I forgot they changed his name. Sorry, chat. The characters and the character mechanics are god tier. Like, I actually think playing the characters in the game feels so fucking good. The issue is, like, what was the actual game mode in which you expressed these characters? And I've said this before, and people are like, "Oh, but that's like what made Overwatch Overwatch." I disagree. I think what makes Overwatch is the characters, and you could have expressed them in another game mode or game type. I mean, like, really think out of the box. Don't just think arena shooter. Imagine you have like a really fucking big map, and you have like Apex style 3-man squads or 4-man squads in a really big map. And like, let's say that like the loot in the game is like getting you charges of your abilities, or, you know, levels up your damage or your armor or something. And that like, you could actually play on like, not like Apex sized maps that are like as spread out. You probably wouldn't deal with as much range, like think much more close quarters. But imagine like really like, imagine a battle royale that's like a little bit more arena based and less like massive map. So this is like maybe Apex's size, and then this is like the size of an Overwatch map. Imagine something maybe in the middle. It could have been like a really good battle royale, right? Flip the script entirely. What if you did a mix of PvE and PvP and had done something like honestly like a MOBA, like an actual battle arena, like first person Smite style, where you might be doing some PvE, some PvP. And again, I'm not saying these are the correct ways to have played Overwatch. I'm saying I would have liked Overwatch when they were in development to have thought about different like ways of playing the game like that, as opposed to like, no, not like Destiny. What? No, I literally didn't. That's literally not Destiny. Chat. Destiny is literally an MMO. It's PvE, and then you go into an instance of PvP. The example I just gave you is literally what League of Legends is, or Pokemon Unite, like an actual MOBA. BR is definitely inside the box. Yeah, sure, these are inside the box in terms of games, but they're outside the box of like what Blizzard was considering. Blizzard considered arena shooter modes, push the cart, king of the hill, or control the point. They basically were pushing. Yeah, I think it's because Overwatch. Yeah, I think it's because Overwatch was already repurposed from being an MMO, and they already repurposed it into an arena shooter. Yeah, I think Overwatch 2 needed to have done something different. Yeah, to be fair, Leandro, if you made me the director of Overwatch and told me what I should have done in this situation before Overwatch 2, I might have done exactly what they did here. Put all of my effort into the PvE and into like the like PvE campaign mode, co-op mode, and just, I don't know, tried a few band-aid solutions to the PvP. It might have been too much to try to like ask for like a different expression of Overwatch's PvP. Anyways, that's my take on Overwatch 2. I think the saddest thing to me about Overwatch 2 is there's so much about the game that is really good. Like, there's so much that's literally god tier, like best in class of like any game. I think the characters, character mechanics, there's just so much that's good about Overwatch. The reason why I think people find it addicting is because you play these characters, you're like, holy shit, this is actually so fun. Like there's these little moments in Overwatch that just feel so fun. Like little moments. And then like it just gets bogged down. It feels impossible to communicate with the team. I mean, one of the things that like League of Legends has going for it that's interesting is like League of Legends doesn't require nearly as much teamwork as Overwatch. Overwatch, it feels like your team has to be synced up. In League, you get a whole like, I don't know, 10 minutes where it's mostly like you doing your laning shit. I think it's the game modes that are the biggest issue with Overwatch. It's the expression of the characters in game is fantastic. The objectives of the game are terrible. That's a little Blaustoise take on Overwatch 2. And as always, Valorant is fire, and Valorant will continue to do really well. Why does Dunkey hate Valorant? That's what we really need to figure out. Actually, we can add that. You can add this. We can add this into the to the music video as well. You know, one of the reasons why Valorant is really is and will be really successful, and you can actually explain it, which is Valorant took a core game mode, a core like system of play that was established and known to be really good, and they iterated on that. They basically said, hey, we're gonna take CS, like they literally, like the game mode of Valorant is CSGO. Like the core gameplay is CSGO. And then what they did that was smart was they were like, okay, the innovation we're gonna put on it is, okay, in attack shooter, much of the game is played, is played at a high level via utility to create space, to do a push, to like do any this, that, and the third, right? Utility being Molotovs, smokes, flashes, etc. Right? And they're like, we're gonna take that and we're gonna now expand that to include way more things, and we're gonna have that expressed as character abilities. Similar to, Overwatch's character design. And I still think the character design in Overwatch is better than the character design in Valorant. Overwatch 2 converts to search and destroy game mode. Yeah. You could try that. I feel like with Overwatch, they were in this weird state where I honestly feel like if I had to guess how Overwatch was developed, I feel like they had their characters down first. They probably were coming, like I said, people said it was a, and correct if I'm wrong, it was an MMO development. What I think they did was they built these characters. They probably built like how the characters play and move. Like they built a Tracer. They built a Reinhardt, and they're like, wow, these characters play really fucking well. Let's lean more into the characters. Okay, now we've made a bunch of fucking characters. Okay, let's make this like a class-based shooter. And I feel like they almost went like, I bet you Overwatch's development was almost the opposite of League's development. Or not League's development, Valorant's. Valorant's development, and again, here's some insight for you guys. Valorant was basically like, someone said Brim, Breach, Reyna, Fade, very uninspiring copy and paste designs. Yeah, I mean, I don't think the characters in Valorant are as good as the characters in Overwatch. But Valorant in its development started as, let's make the core fundamentals of attack shooter. Let's get the movement and the shooting and the geometry of the maps down. Like, let's get a basic map, shooting, movement down. Something very similar to CS with a few changes. Changes that some people don't like, changes that a lot of people do like, because frankly, Valorant's movement and shooting are just more accessible. And then they focused on like they got the core scaffolding of the game down, and then they focused on the innovations. And it feels like Overwatch didn't have a core scaffolding of a game. It felt like they had really, really good specific mechanics with how their characters were expressed, but they didn't have like the objective down. Like push the cart, control the point. These weren't like objectives that were necessarily gonna be like long-term, like good objectives. Valo took the safe route though. You guys can argue it's the safe route, but like when you're doing games like this, it's like, I think some of the biggest hits as games are not because they did something so fucking radical and crazy. Almost all big hits as games are clearly inspired and take a lot of stuff from other games and then add a little twist on it. Do you think there will be a game to pass Valorant just like Valorant passing Overwatch? Chat, I don't think Valorant competes with Overwatch. This is going to be the really sad truth for you guys. If I was someone who worked at Riot to this day, I don't think Overwatch or Overwatch 2 would concern me that much. I think Valorant competes with CS, but I mean, okay, you guys really want to, like, if I still worked at Riot, I basically would know that I'll beat CS:GO. I would see what Overwatch, or I'd see what Blizzard did with Overwatch, wouldn't be worried. I would see, I'll be honest, I would see what happens. I would not be worried about CS:GO either. I'd be, yeah, CS:GO, like Valorant continuing to like outdevelop CS is just like inevitable at this point. If you're Valorant, you're worried about Fortnite, you're worried about Apex, maybe COD, but you're worried about it's less about the games that are the direct one-to-one gameplay, and you're worried about the games that are like adjacent enough in the fact that they're like shooters to some degree, that have the support of a dev team or a broader company that will actually continue to support those games and draw people away, so that when a new Valorant season comes out and someone's like, well, am I grinding Apex the next month or am I grinding Valorant? That decision, you know, flips them. Or if you're someone who's new to gaming, or your friends are bringing you into gaming, what's the game they want you to play with them or learn with them? Is it going to be Valorant, or is it going to be Fortnite, stuff like that? CS, I'm not, whenever I talk about Counter-Strike, I'm never saying Counter-Strike's going to die. I'm just saying Counter-Strike is never going to be anything more than it is now. I'm saying Counter-Strike is just, it'll always be a great game. It's always going to have probably a giant resurgence around, you know, around its like competitive events. But if you think that it's like basically this, if you're getting into gaming, or if you have friends who are new to gaming, actually let me run a few thought experiments with you. Say you have some friends, maybe, or like a younger sibling, and they're getting into gaming. What do you think they're like more likely to play? CS or Valorant? Which one's like more just accessible and that they're just kind of more likely to play? It's probably Valorant. When you're scrolling any degree of media, whether it's Twitter or TikTok or YouTube, like what content's probably being surfaced to you? Yeah, everyone's saying Fortnite. Yeah, honestly, Fortnite above both. Let's be real. It's probably going to be Valorant. Has more like kind of content for it. If you're a streamer as a hobby, or streamer as a professional, what are you more likely to stream? CS or Valorant? Probably gonna stream Valorant. Another way to think about it is you're an esports team and you want to create, and you're like, yo, we want to, let's say you're an esports team, you got some like other stuff, yeah, we want to get into FPS gaming. We're gonna make an FPS team. What team do you make? Do you make a Valorant team or do you make a CSGO team? Probably make a Valorant team. GTA RP stream. Yeah, kids that are playing Fortnite now will probably, I can see a lot of them graduating to Valorant. And again, I feel like whenever people hear me say this, it's like they think I'm like just shitting on CS or Batman. CS is one of the greatest. Listen, CS is one of the greatest games ever. Same with Dota. And do you want to know why I know that CS and Dota are some of the greatest games of all time? Because they're the games that Riot knew to innovate on to make better versions of. Not better versions, more mass marketable versions. That's how you know they're good games. It's because Riot was like, oh, yoink. Again, I'm not saying that CS couldn't be a better game than Valorant or anything like that. Like, obviously, chat, you're going to have your preferences, and if you prefer CS over Valorant, that's great. To say that CS is a better game than Valorant is totally valid. To say that Valve will ever care about CS even half as much as Riot will care about Valorant is insane, though. And it's because of that that I put my stocks into Valorant succeeding in the next decade over CS. And that's just the reality of it. Anyways, chat, thank you for coming to my TED Talk about Overwatch 2, Valorant versus CS. Can't wait to put this up on YouTube.